Hurt my hand. Oh, hey, I'm Loretta, and I'm just gonna share my heart with you, share something that I'm really passionate about, and hope that it comes through well because I haven't like rehearsed anything or thought of what I was gonna say. I'm just gonna say it. So, um, first I'm gonna read you a speech that I wrote in March, and then go from there. So, Thursday, July 1st, 2010, my very best friend committed suicide. When I say he was my best friend, I mean it. His name was Charlie. He was 17 years old when he died. I met Charlie through a friend who lives in Colorado, so I never personally met him. But we would text or talk on the phone just about every day. I would have never thought that someone like Charlie, a happy go lucky kind of guy, would do something like this. Suicide, to me, is a very selfish thing. I don't think they completely think it through when they're about to do it. I mean, yeah, when you're about to kill yourself, you're not really going to be thinking of others. But I don't really think they realize what they put other people through when they're gone. Charlie wasn't a Christian. He had a good Christian family, but he found many things wrong with Christianity. I mentioned God or Jesus like once, and all that happened was me getting cussed out. So I never really mentioned him again. Um, I told Charlie everything. He was always there to help me when I needed him, which is why I called him my best friend. But not once do I think he stopped and said, "Hey, I wonder what Loretta will be like when I leave." Even though you may feel better, the people who care about you do not. I've been through so much because of it, and you never forget about it. You constantly miss them. Every once in a while, I just pray that I'll be able to see him again. But to know that he's not even in heaven makes it worse. Some people say there are certain signs in people so that you can tell if they want to commit suicide or not. I disagree. Because I never once thought about Charlie doing something like this. The Monday before he passed, Charlie was the happiest person on earth. I've literally never seen him so happy. The next day, he broke off our bet. Him and I had a bet if I cut myself, which I don't anymore. We would have he would have a ticket to get high, or he would have a ticket to get high. If he got high, I would have a ticket to cut. Since we both wanted each other to stop, we thought this would be the best way to handle it. It lasted for about 4 months, and then he broke off the bet. I knew something was up. Not quite sure what, but this wasn't his normal self. We ended up fighting all night. Eventually, he stopped texting me. I about cried myself to sleep that night. Wednesday, never heard a thing from him. Around, what,
Yeah, the Zoom cable.
if I can find it.
One, I need to charge my Zoom. Two, there's a lot of music that I haven't put on there yet. And I'm getting ready to download the gun show.
I don't feel like making a new video, so you just heard that was my brother. Um, anyway, Wednesday, never heard a thing from him. Around 3 p.m. that day, my friend my friend asked me if I had heard from him. I told her no. Then she told me he had ran away. It was exactly 10 a.m. when he texted me Thursday morning. The text read, "Hey Loretta, since you're the only one who cares, I want you to know that I'm leaving." Leaving? I knew Charlie was moving back to Indiana in 2 weeks, which I was so excited. So excited that I would actually meet him. So I just replied with a, "What do you mean, bro?" He got smart with me and just straight up told me he was going to commit suicide. Those words literally haunt me, and they never seem to leave. I I immediately called my friend and asked her to tell his his mom. Charlie still wasn't at home at the time. He stayed somewhere overnight, I guess, when he ran away. So his parents couldn't exactly do much about it. I tried talking him out of it, but it only got worse. After about an hour or so of talking to him, he stopped texting me. That whole day, I stayed up in my room and wrote a paper on suicide. I gathered different kinds of information about it, and the things I found amazed me, such as in 1996, more teenagers and young adults died of suicide than from cancer, heart disease, AIDS, birth defects, stroke, and pneumonia combined. In 1996, suicide was the second leading cause of death among college students, cause the third leading cause of death among those aged 15 to 24 years, and the fourth leading cause of death among those aged 10 to 14 years. Around 4 p.m. that day, they found him at his cousin's house. He was pale and weak. He had overdosed. He could barely move, couldn't talk at all. He was practically gone. They took him to the hospital and put him on life support. I always worry about if he really knew that I loved him or that I cared about him. But the question, why would they want to kill themselves, haunts me. I personally think it's because they feel worthless and alone. They think to themselves, why am I even here if no one cares about me? And that's when I think it's our turn to step up and help. I think we can make a difference. Show people you love them. And if you're considering suicide at all, this is what I have to say. No matter what you are going through in life right now, it's not so bad to take the gift God gave you, your life. God cares about you and loves you more than you can even fathom. Talk to Him. Don't tell God how big your problems are. Tell your problems how big your God is. And there's nothing, I mean nothing, that slips past God. And He goes, oops, didn't see that one coming. He knows what you're going through. And there is a reason you're feeling this way. Talk to God. He's the only answer to take away your hurt and pain. I also work with a site called Mission l.o.v.e. We're here to help teens with whatever it is they are going through, to tell them that they're loved, cared for, and adored by the one who created them, God. And if you want to know more about this site, you can just look us up on Facebook, blah, 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 blah. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. God has plans for each and every one of you. Even though your life may seem terrible right now, believe me, it'll get better. Have faith in God that He'll get you through this storm. And you know what happens after storms? Rainbows. Your life will be worth it in the end. Promise. So that was my speech that I had written. And um, so I did that in March. And then in, I think it was June 28th, I'm not for sure, but my best friend now, his brother committed suicide. I was heartbroken. I just turned 15, and I already know two people who have killed themselves. What are we doing? Are we not doing anything? On Friday, this past Friday, I went to a camp out cookout with my boyfriend and his youth group, and we were just, chilling. And all of a sudden, I just got really upset, and I started coming down on myself, which probably wasn't a good idea. But I was like, oh crap, I'm not doing anything to help these people anymore. At first, I thought I was doing a good job, but recently, I haven't. I can't remember the last time I told my best friend that I loved him. In fact, I'm going to tell him right now. But, I mean, I'm sorry, I can't even stress enough how, like, we're just sitting around and, somebody will post something really depressing on, like, Facebook or Twitter, whatever the poop that you use, and you'll just scroll by it. You won't even stop and say, hey, it'll get better, or some sort of encouragement. I mean, no wonder people kill themselves. They think that nobody cares about them. I mean, try doing more than just a text, even. Try calling them. Social networking, like, it's it's nice, obviously, and it's good for people, but it takes us away from actually spending time with people and showing them that we care about them. I mean, try hanging out with someone and showing them that you care about them, cuz it could really make a difference. If you're watching this, I'd really recommend just telling all your close friends that you love them, just so they know. I mean, they may know, but just so they can be confirmed in it, because you never know what they're going through. I wish I would have told Charlie I loved him more. I wish I would have, told him that every day and that I cared about him, then maybe this wouldn't have happened. So I really want to try and be the one to make a difference. I really want to stop this. The day after the camp out cookout, which was this past Saturday, my boyfriend and one of my friends went to a suicide prevention walk thing. And we walked like 3 miles for. I am busy.
Oh,
I'll talk to you later.
just waiting if you could get back on the machines.
Okay. How's my
So,
brother again? Um, but yeah, I'm on my iTunes. Um, but poopsicle sticks. I lost where I was now. Um, suicide walk. So I went to the suicide walk, and um, at one point in the walk, you could take chalk and write like "Rest in peace, so and so," or "I miss you, so and so," or whatever. But I walked by this one like square, and it had 8 people that they knew who did it. 8. And I was amazed. I was like, I have to do something. There was, it went on for miles, probably, people writing. And I'm like, what the poop? What are we doing here? Obviously nothing right now, because people are still out there killing themselves. And I'm sitting around like, cool story, bro. No, I don't want to be like that. I don't think anyone should have to suffer with suicide or deal with it. I wish I could go on, but I'm running out of time on my YouTube video, and I can only go a little bit longer. Um, but really, make a difference. Tell someone you love them. Show them that you care about them. And whatever that you think you can do to prevent suicide. Because it is a serious thing and it needs to stop. If you want to talk more about it, I'm always here and I won't judge you or whatever, okay? I'm not like that. But I'm running out of time. So I love you all.